Have you ever felt like you're going backwards? That the more you search for peace, the more unsettled everything becomes. You try to be calm, but you feel everything more intensely. You try to connect, but you find yourself needing to be alone. It's a confusing place to be. It can feel like failure. But what if I told you these aren't signs of you getting lost? What if these are signs that you are, in fact, finding your way? The wisdom passed down through generations shows us something interesting. The journey inward often looks like chaos on the surface. We expect growth to be a straight line up, like climbing a mountain. But it's often more like a storm that clears the air. You see, the mind has to let go of its old patterns to make space for something new. And that process can feel messy. It can feel like you're losing your footing. Actually, that's exactly how it's supposed to feel, because you can't see the path clearly until you admit you've been a little lost. You can't build a strong house until you clear away the old, unstable foundation. So these feelings of confusion, they are not the problem. They are the beginning of clarity. The feelings of being overwhelmed, they're a sign that your heart is becoming open enough to truly feel. What I'm about to share are some simple observations, things you might notice when your inner world is starting to quietly shift, and you might just recognize yourself in them. First, things just feel louder. Pay close attention to this, because it might be happening right now. Have you noticed you're more sensitive to things, not just your own feelings, but the noise in a crowd, the feeling of a room when you walk in, the unspoken tension between two people? You might even find you can't watch violent movies anymore. They just feel heavy. Most people see this as a problem. They think, I need to be tougher. I need thicker skin. They try to build walls to shut the world out. But ancient wisdom suggests this isn't weakness. It is your awareness growing. Think about it this way. Imagine your attention was a small room with one window. Now, all the walls are starting to become windows. You see and feel so much more at once. Of course, it's overwhelming at first. You're not used to all the light, but this doesn't mean the windows are broken. It means your room is becoming bigger. You are not becoming fragile. You are becoming aware. The real work isn't to build walls, but to learn how to let the light come through without getting blinded by it. The second sign, you begin to question everything, and this one can really shake you. Suddenly, the big things in your life don't feel so solid anymore. The career you built, the beliefs you were raised with, the way you've always seen yourself, it all starts to feel a little thin, like clothes that don't quite fit. Now, if this is you right now, it probably feels like a crisis. You might think you're losing your way, losing who you are. But what if questioning things is the most honest thing a person can do? Think about a tree. To grow strong roots, it has to push through the soil it was given. It has to find its own way down. Most people live their whole lives wearing clothes passed down from others, ideas they never chose for themselves. When your inner self begins to stir, those borrowed ideas start to feel uncomfortable. This questioning phase isn't a breakdown. It's a clearing out. You're not losing yourself. You're finally making space to find yourself. This path can feel a bit lonely. You're not just following the crowd anymore, but you are starting to build your own path, stone by stone. Which leads to the third thing you may notice. You want to be alone more, not because you're sad or because you don't like people anymore, but you just need quiet. You need space to just be, to hear what's going on inside. This can confuse you and the people around you. You've always been social, right? But now, small talk feels like a heavy weight. Crowded parties feel draining. You find yourself just wanting to be home or walk in nature, quietly. This need for solitude is a lot like a seed. For a seed to sprout, it needs to be alone, under the soil, in the quiet and the dark. From the outside, nothing seems to be happening. But in that stillness, the most important work is being done. Life is getting ready to break through. This is what's happening for you. In the quiet, away from everyone else's noise and opinions, you can start to hear your own truth. You're not hiding. you're preparing. If you felt this pull to be quiet, to be still, it's a good sign. It might mean your roots are getting ready to grow deeper. I invite you to do something simple. If these first few points feel true for you, just pause. See them not as problems, but as signposts on a path. In fact, if you feel moved, share a simple declaration in the comments. A powerful one is, "My inner space is my strength." When we acknowledge our journey, we give ourselves permission to walk it fully. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. If you find this perspective helpful, consider joining us here. Subscribe and let's continue to explore this path together, step by step. Fourth, you start seeing the connections. You start to notice little things lining up in a way that's interesting. You have a question in your mind, and then you overhear a conversation that seems to answer it. You think of an old friend, and they call you that afternoon. Life starts to feel less random. It feels more like a flowing river. As your own mind gets quieter, you start to see the currents in that river. You see how one thing gently leads to the next. This isn't some supernatural event. It is what happens when you are paying attention. You begin to notice the quiet order that is always there, right beneath the surface of the everyday chaos. You're seeing that the world inside you and the world outside you are not so separate after all. Fifth, your feelings are all over the place, and this might be the hardest one. One moment, you feel a deep, unexplainable joy. The next, a wave of sadness washes over you, and you don't even know why. You might feel deep love for a total stranger or cry watching a simple sunrise. This emotional intensity can make you feel like you're unstable, like you're losing your balance. But look at it this way. Think of your heart as a small, shallow stream. For years, the water has been controlled, held back. As you grow, that stream starts to widen and deepen into a river. It can hold more. The joy is deeper. The sadness is deeper too. The water isn't out of control. There's just more of it. You're not becoming unstable. You're becoming more alive. You're starting to feel the real depth of this human experience. Let's keep going. The sixth thing, time feels different. Sometimes it speeds up, sometimes it slows right down. You might have moments that feel like you've lived them before. Or you just know something without anyone telling you. You might see a flicker of movement out of the corner of your eye. These experiences aren't your mind playing tricks on you. They are signs that your awareness is expanding. A quiet mind can notice things a busy mind rushes past. When you become very still, you can perceive the world in a way that doesn't always follow the clock on the wall. This isn't a glitch. It is your perception becoming sharper, more refined. The seventh sign, the things that once drove you suddenly feel hollow. Your career goals, the need for approval, the things you used to chase after. They just don't hold the same weight anymore. And you find yourself asking, what am I really doing here? What is this all for? This can feel scary. It can feel like you've lost your purpose. But think of a cup that's been filled with sand. To fill it with clear water, you first have to pour all the sand out. The cup has to become empty. This feeling of purposelessness is that empty cup. You are simply clearing out the old motivations to make room for a deeper purpose to reveal itself. The emptiness isn't the end, it's the preparation. Trust this empty space. It is fertile ground. Number 8 is this: you start to just know things. It's a quiet feeling, an inner nudge. You can often sense what someone else is feeling, even if their words say something different. You have a hunch about which way to go, and it turns out to be right. This isn't a strange power. It's a natural human ability that often gets drowned out by noise and logic. Think of it as an internal compass. For a long time, you've been navigating with loud instructions from everyone else. Now, you're learning to listen for the quiet pull of your own compass needle. It's been there all along. You're just finally getting quiet enough to notice it. The ninth observation might be the most beautiful. You feel a deep sense of connection to everyone and everything. It's a quiet compassion. You can feel the struggles of others. You might feel a pang of sadness for a struggling plant, or a deep empathy for a stranger. This expanded feeling can seem like a heavy burden, but ancient wisdom teaches us that this compassion is the natural result of seeing clearly. When you truly see that we are all like different leaves on the same tree, you naturally feel for the other leaves. The challenge isn't to stop feeling. It's to learn how to be the strong tree that can hold all of those feelings without breaking. Your heart isn't too sensitive. It's just becoming honest about how connected we all truly are. And that brings us to the 10th and final point. The great letting go. After all the questioning and confusion, the highs and lows, a moment of stillness arrives. It's the moment you stop trying so hard. You stop trying to manage your growth. You stop trying to figure it all out. You simply let it be. Think about it. For so long, you've been trying to control the journey, fighting the uncomfortable feelings, resisting the changes. Letting go is when you realize there's a wisdom in all of it. The confusion, the sensitivity, the quiet times. They have all been your teachers. Surrender isn't about giving up. It's about recognizing that a current of life is flowing through you and it knows the way better than your struggling mind does. It's the moment you realize that all this messy, beautiful, confusing stuff wasn't happening to you. It was all happening for you. In this letting go, a quiet peace emerges. The questions settle. The path becomes clear, not because you found a map, but because you finally learned to trust your own 2 feet. So, here is the simple truth I want you to sit with. If you see yourself in these signs, you aren't breaking. You are not failing. You are slowly, quietly, waking up to yourself. This isn't a grand event. It is a simple recognition of the quiet wisdom that has always been inside you. The signs aren't hurdles to overcome. They are the path itself. They are what growth feels like in a human body. In a world that often teaches us to ignore our inner truth, you are not too much. You are not too sensitive. You are not too different. You are exactly what you need to be, right here, right now. You are remembering your own nature in a world that can often cause us to forget. And now, how do you walk this path? First, stop thinking something is wrong with you. When you feel sensitive, don't build a wall. Learn to create quiet space for yourself. When you feel confused, don't rush for an answer. Learn to sit with the question. Find people who understand this quiet journey. Find your simple practice. Maybe it's a walk in the morning. Maybe it's 5 minutes of silent breathing or drawing, something that connects you to your own stillness. Make that a daily habit. Above all, trust the process. Trust that your own deeper wisdom knows the way. Even when it feels uncertain, you are right where you need to be. As we finish, just take one slow breath. Feel into this. You are not hearing this by chance. These things are happening because your spirit is ready for a little more depth, a little more quiet, a little more truth. Your own inner journey is part of a quiet shift happening all over the world. You are proof that it's possible to find stillness in the noise, to find love in the face of fear. These signs aren't a test you need to pass. They are life itself, gently reminding you of who you already are. Whole, complete, perfect in your beautiful, human messiness. The only task is to embrace it. If you're ready to continue this journey of inner quiet, subscribe. This is just the beginning. Thank you for being brave enough to listen to the quiet voice within.